Hi there, welcome to the Engineers Ireland pre-recorded series. This one's all about starting your energy engineering career. We have a really exciting talk coming up, but before we get into it, just to say that if you're a graduate, you can log this talk along with the two other energy videos in the series for a total of 1 CPD, so you can check those out on our YouTube channel. And just a reminder that you need to keep a good track of your CPD, because you should be logging at least 35 CPD hours every year. You can log into your membership profile, and you can do that on the screen just showing you here. For students, if you're watching this, just remember that you can get free student membership. You can do so by clicking on the link below, and in the year of graduation, you can get free graduate membership. You just log into your membership profile, and that will show you how to do it. When you graduate, you can get €700 worth of savings for the first 4 years of your career. If you have any questions on this, you can email us at membership@engineersireland.ie. And without further ado, let's get into the talk today. So the talk today will be conducted by Ciarán Finlay. He is an energy management engineer with HSE Capital in the States, and he carries out and manages various energy projects across a range of healthcare premises, as well as establishing and running energy management teams and performing desktop studies. Prior to working in the HSE, he worked for a project management company on projects ranging in value from 60,000 to 800 million euro. With a Bachelor in Mechanical Engineering, he saw the potential of working in the energy sector, which prompted him to pursue a Master's in Energy Systems Engineering in UCD. So I'm going to hand over to our main speaker, Ciarán.
Hi, my name is Ciarán Finlay, and I'm an energy manager with HSE Capital and Estates based in North Dublin. So just a brief introduction to myself. I currently have 3 degrees under my belt, the first being a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering Technology, which I attained in DIT Bolton Street. Upon completion of that course, you have the opportunity to get advanced entry into the 3rd year out of 4 years in the Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering, from which I graduated in 2017. Upon leaving that course, I went on to work for a project cost management company called FESP International, based in Dublin, and worked with them for about 14 months on a variety of projects, ranging in value from about 60,000 up to about 800 million. In September of 2018, I wanted to return to education, and I completed a Master of Energy Systems Engineering in UCD over a period of 12 months. In November of 2019, I became an energy manager with HSE Estates office in Swords, and I'm currently one of 2 energy managers for Section 38 and 39 organisations countrywide, and we'll discuss that a bit more later. So why did I get into energy engineering? I wanted to provide a better standard of living for the world's growing population, to try and reduce the human impact on the climate. I always had an interest through college in thermal energy systems and macro engineering systems, and my final year project in the level 8 was based on thermal engineering. I have a specific interest regarding energy in buildings, which I studied in my master's, and is why I pursued the role I'm in now. And one of the questions that came up whenever I was doing my level 8, sort of got me to pursue this as well, was the largest machine ever built in the world, which is the electrical energy grid, which I find very interesting. And energy is becoming a more relevant topic because more people are buying e-cars, BER and DECs are becoming more commonplace, and we're trying to diverge from fossil fuels and get into more renewable and sustainable energy technologies. So just an overview then of the Estates office in Swords. It's a very multidisciplinary office where there's about 29 or 30 people working there, just for North Dublin. As you can see, it's a very varied background in there, and we all interwork with each other to try and get projects to completion. So myself, being an energy engineer, would rely on some of the civil, structural and building services engineers to try and get my work finished, and likewise they would come to me for similar. The HSE has 9 CHOs, or community healthcare organisations, where I work in CHO 9, which is Dublin North. We have over 3,000 properties under our portfolio nationwide. The HSE also funds a range of service providers under the Section 38 or 39 of the Health Act, which are the ones that I look after. Our building stock ranges in age from 1700s era to modern facilities, which brings its own difficulties with it. And these buildings range in use from acute hospital care, older persons care, disability, office space, etc., a lot more. So the HSE has an energy bureau, which was established in 2018, and we work in partnership with the SEAI. So 50% of our energy funding for energy projects comes from the SEAI. And through the Energy Bureau, we hope to embed energy management in the day-to-day activities of staff, to engage with existing and establishing new energy awareness teams, to impact behavioural change and try to get energy savings off that, to identify projects, to provide project support in terms of funding, and to progress energy efficient design of new builds. The HSE also has 3 pillars of energy reduction, the first being behavioural change, the second being shallow retrofits, which would be lighting replacement, air handling unit replacement, etc., or EED. So all future buildings in the HSE are energy efficient in their design is what we're looking for, to achieve the required environmental and energy standards while having the lowest running and operating and life cycle cost. And we're currently implementing a Pathfinder project where we're taking 10 sites countrywide to represent the entire HSE building stock and to implement these energy efficient design practices on them and see what the outcomes are. The main objectives of the HSE Energy Bureau are to provide safe and comfortable conditions for quality patient care and staff working conditions, to reduce energy consumption and CO2 emissions and increase energy efficiency, to achieve targets set by Irish government, European and global legislators, and to move from fossil fuel reliant systems to renewable grid electricity equipment, local generation equipment and sustainable energy technologies. So I have a brief video which I'm going to show next, which discusses the HSE Energy Bureau, what we can do for healthcare facilities and the type of things they can provide. So that is the HSE Energy Bureau. So to briefly discuss now my job description. So as I've talked about already, we look to engage existing or new energy teams to provide support, guidance and training to these energy teams through the SEAI and through our own local trainers, to identify projects and progress them on the register of opportunities, which is where we get our funding from. Preparing tenders, tender analysis and qualifications on tender returns. Project managing works, which I'll go through a bit later. Bill analysis and energy monitoring. Energy studies on buildings such as insulation, lighting, PV, pumps, BMS, etc. And assisting other estate staff with projects and energy related works. So the work varies every week, so visiting sites. So some of the site visits will be for energy team meetings, and then other site visits will be project management, project identification, recording data. And we also get to work from home, so there's a good work home balance. We also work in different environments with different disciplines. And there's been a lot of impacts due to COVID. I was redeployed last year for 4 months to St. Mary's Hospital in the Phoenix Park to procure different items for wards and also project managing some builders' works. There's also been some impacts this year due to the cyber attack, where we were out of action for about a month on our IT systems, and we're still not fully back yet. So examples of some of the works that I've helped on would be 1,000 kilowatt peak solar power installation. And you can see down the bottom there, the plant key performance indicators. So this plant was in about 3 weeks before these KPIs were recorded. So nearly 7 megawatt hours in 3 weeks for a 100 kilowatt system is fairly good. And we're coming into the heating season now, so you expect to see that go down. Pump replacement, so replacing old fixed speed pumps with new variable speed pumps. So this helps us to future proof for building energy upgrades and heat pumps, etc. Other works that I've done include thermal inspections. So we actually have an infrared camera in the office, and you can see here in picture 1 there's a radiator where you can see there's a silt built up in it for the yellow triangle. Picture number 2 is a hot water tank, and you can see there's a lot of energy wastage through the bottom there in the red area. And then number 3 is some flange and gaskets. So some desktop studies that I have conducted by myself would be external insulation wrap, LED lighting replacement, and some solar PV analysis. And just to discuss some of the sites we've worked on, so there's 2 notable sites in Dublin that I've worked with. The first being a mental health campus, and the second being an older person's care facility. So from the establishment of their teams, the first campus has saved 220,000 euros in energy, and the second site has saved 120,000 euros in energy. And to put that in perspective, Site 1 has saved over 2,000 tonnes of CO2 since their team has started in 2016. And that's equivalent to planting 135,000 trees to absorb that CO2. And Site 2 has saved 1,400 tonnes of CO2 since 2017, and that's the same as 930 Volkswagen e-Golfs. So this is some of the information that I would pass on to the green teams as well whenever they're promoting themselves or for their annual reports. So that is me. Thank you very much for your time.